So I'm piddling around in the shop the other day, cleaning up, and I look down and there's smoke coming from the trash can that sits next to my table saw. And immediately I'm racking my brain trying to figure out what I threw in there that would be causing a fire. Now, I typically smoke cigars in my shop, but I hadn't that day, and I couldn't figure out what it was. So I get down on my knees, I start pulling stuff out of the trash can, trying to figure it out. There's smoke coming out, and all of a sudden I pick up this one rag. There's smoke just billowing from it. Now, there's no fire, but a lot of smoke, and I could not believe what had caused it. So about 30 minutes prior to that, I was cleaning up the shop and had one of my Starbond CA glue bottles got stuck to the top of my miter station up there. And somehow I'd gotten super glue on the bottom of it. It super glued itself to the miter station, and when I went to pull it off, it cracked the bottom and super glue went everywhere. And I was a little mad about it. I posted it on my Instagram. Heck of a mess to clean up, right? You know, I just grab some shop towels, I go over there, I soak up all the CA glue, crumble it up, throw it in the trash can, and I never thought twice about it. Now, as it turns out, CA glue, when it comes in contact with cotton, it'll create smoke like that, especially in a large amount. I mean, I spilled an entire bottle, so it's quite a bit of smoke. But there is something very similar to this situation that can and will catch fire, and that's finishes and rags. Now, while this situation actually woke me up a little bit, I recalled that just a few days earlier on the Go Build Something podcast, Jesse Mullen, Brandon Walker, and I were talking about how when you use rags and oil-based finishes, they can spontaneously combust. And there is people that we know in the woodworking community that has lost their entire wood shops.
Does anybody ever had, I don't want to get too far into the subject, I know it's been over an hour, but ever had, when they're staining stuff, it spontaneously catch fire?
Dude, this
I haven't,
just
but
happened.
My friend did.
Yeah.
I know a person it's happened to as well.
That's what not to me, but what kind of stain was it?
If you're like me, my wood shop is in my garage that's attached to my house. That's very scary. My kids sleep just on the other side of that wall. So I want to do everything that I can to prevent even the most minuscule chance of something spontaneously combusting and catching fire in my shop. So today in the Penalty Box Wood Shop, we're going to talk about how to dispose and store rags that you were using with oil-based finishes. Believe it or not, one of the most common types of spontaneous combustion fires comes from improper disposal of oil or stain-soaked rags. Mistakenly, people only associate this situation happening with linseed oil, but it can actually happen with any type of oil-based finish or stain. Here I got Danish oil, polyurethane, and just some normal run-of-the-mill wood finish stains. And on the back of every single one of them, there's a warning. If I can find it. Somewhere on here. I'll find it. Give me a second. I promise you it's on here. Oh, here, no. Let me go to the big can where my old eyes can see it. Right here on the can it says, danger, rags, steel wool, other waste soaked with this product and sanding residue may spontaneously catch fire if improperly discarded. Immediately place rags, steel wool, other waste soaked with this product and sanding residue in a sealed, water-filled metal container. Dispose of in accordance with local fire regulations. So on every single one of these cans, it has that. It's just tiny on this one, I can't see it. Even on the Danish oil. So it's not just linseed oil that this will happen with. And as you saw, it happened with me with super glue, regular old Starbond CA glue. So I'm going to show you how I properly dispose of mine to ensure that we don't have this problem at all. Just a quick reminder, this video is what I do, what I've researched, and what I've found that works for me. So be sure you're reading those warning labels and you figure out for yourself exactly the best way. So I don't have running water in my shop, so I like to keep a ammo can, just an old military style ammo can. You can get them cheap at any military surplus store or wherever. But I like to keep one of these in my shop and it has water in it. And I'll change the water out every now and then, but since I don't have running water, it gives me a place to store it and it can seal tight. So if I'm using a rag like this, I've got it full of oil, I'll dunk it in the water. So once I got this rag in here and it's nice and soaked, what I like to do is just go ahead and shut the ammo can. You can shut that and store that rag right in there because this is a metal container that locks tight. There's no way it's going to spontaneously combust inside of water in a sealed can. That is one of my favorite ways to store it. It's easy and you don't have to worry about it. But if you don't have an ammo can, and let's just say you have a container of water, go ahead and just take the rag out. of the water. You can wring it out. And then you have a choice. You can either lay it flat, and one of the places I like to lay it flat, and all of my trash cans in my shop, this is what I use for the trash can. And it is an old metal bucket. And it's metal, it's not plastic. So therefore, if it does catch on fire, it's not gonna melt, and the fire is gonna be at least contained inside this metal bucket. Now, if you want, all you have to do is lay that rag out flat, like this, over the edge of the metal bucket, and leave it there overnight. This will be perfectly fine. When it's laid flat like this, either over an edge or on a surface, then there's no way they can gain enough heat to spontaneously combust. So this is a great way to do it. Once it's wet, lay it there, leave it overnight, it'll dry, you'll be fine. Another way to do it if you don't have a metal can is you can fold it up and then store it in a plastic bag. These are just regular Ziploc plastic bags. I put them in there, get all of the air out, and then seal it and lay it out. So all of these methods are exactly what I got from recommendations from manufacturers and on warning labels. My favorite is absolutely just putting it in the water in the ammo can and sealing it. That way there's nothing else in there that can catch fire. There's water and it's sealed. But I feel like this is the best way to do it, and it is the most safe way for your oil or stain-soaked rags. Also, when you put them in the water and you seal that can up, you don't have to leave it in your shop. You can take it outside and set it in your driveway, in your yard, away from your house, your shop, or whatever, and that way you're extra safe about it. You do not have to worry about anything happening in the middle of the night, because when these things are crumbled up in the trash can, it doesn't happen in an hour or 2 hours. Sometimes it can take 6, 7, 8 hours for these things to get hot enough to spontaneously combust. And that's typically in the middle of the night. I'm out in my shop in the afternoons. I throw the rag away. I go to bed, and 3, 4, 5 in the morning, things went bad real quick. So I feel like if you can put them in here, get them away from your shop, get them away from your house, makes me feel so much better about it. So this video is a little unconventional for me. It's not what I typically do, but I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got some safe tips here on how to keep your shop, your house, your tools, and everybody safe in your house and your shop. You can never be too careful. Make sure that you read all of the warning labels, proper disposal labels, and everything on all of the substances and stuff that you use in your shop. There's a lot of stuff that we do that is dangerous, and a little extra time to get this figured out is gonna go a long way. All right, folks, I went ahead and teed you up another video right there. I appreciate you watching today. And remember, read those warning labels, properly dispose and store of all the stuff that could be harmful. And that way we got a shop to come back to tomorrow. We'll see you in the next one.